Good evening, everyone. This is delicious. Don Juan, the Texas treat. And you are listening to the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, back in the host seat, JC, joined this week by Tommy.
I'm in a good mood.
And we got Mike.
Mike, I don't know what to do without a catchphrase. I need to find one quick. I'm lost without this. I'll figure something out. What you gonna do? No, never mind.
No, don't do that. If you want to help Mike find a good catchphrase, tweet at us at CCG_WrestleCast. And while you're there, subscribe here to this channel if you're catching us here. Mike needs a new catchphrase for the new year, and maybe one that'll stick and won't be so bad, right? So today we're going to recap Wrestle Kingdom 15. And if Tommy looks pretty well rested, it's because he's used to being up this late, getting ready to watch Wrestle Kingdom the last two nights.
Yeah.
So,
which is funny because for night one, I actually didn't get enough sleep the day before, so I didn't think I was going to make it. But the last two matches, man, woke me all the way the hell up. Oh, well, my God.
You tweeted out your setup. I mean, it's going to get to the point where you might have to just set up a wrestling ring in your office there and then just have the desk in that ring and go from there. So,
I might have to do that. Yeah. I can just run Irish whips back and forth to just wake myself up.
I don't know what's going on, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm in.
My wife will let me.
Anyway, let's jump right into it. Wrestle Kingdom 15. Now, if you recall last year when we did this, of course, Tommy hosts the preview show for Wrestle Kingdom every year. Last year was the first year that they went 2 nights with Wrestle Kingdom. And Tommy was exhausted when we came down to recording this show. Now a little bit more awake. I will say watching it this year, and I personally caught all of night 1 and a little bit of night 2. I think I caught enough to get a pretty good opinion on it and some highlights here and there. It didn't feel as exhausting of an event as it did last year. Tommy, would you agree with that? You watching it? So
I would agree with that only because I think the shadow of the double championship last year was what was the huge draw. Because it was that, and it was also because it was night 2, especially because that was the final Okada Naito kind of drama going in. That was, to me, when people say wrestling is like a soap opera, this is what they're talking about. Especially last year, when you talk about Naito and Okada, that was just soap opera laid out for years. It was like full of gasps, zoom-ins on their faces, and places where you could have cut the commercial and pretty much still would have been the same thing.
Plus, there was a lot of emotion with Liger's retirement last year too.
Yeah.
So,
and this one, I think, you know what? Actually, I think one reason why it wasn't as exhausting is because while the fans were there, if they can't cheer, you don't feel it as much. You know, when you hear the fans loudly cheering, you're there with them. I have chanted with the Japanese crowd here in San Antonio before. I'm not even remotely kidding about that. So yeah.
I think another thing too about it is like there was only like 6 matches each night too, or 5, 6 both nights, on the main card. So yeah. I think last year was just a marathon. I will say I did enjoy it. I didn't watch it live personally. I got to go back and watch it on demand. So if you haven't got New Japan World, definitely subscribe because it's not like WWE Network where they just put the whole pay-per-view. You can watch the whole pay-per-view you want. But you can click on the pay-per-view, click on the day, and then just pick whatever match you want. You can go match by match. It makes it a little bit easier, too. I was very happy with the heavyweight tag team title match, even though my pick was wrong. But I guess I should have gone with my gut because I ended up calling on Siri for that one. But I said, with the Guerrillas of Destiny shaving their facial hair, they're a little more aerodynamic, and that seemed to work a bit in their favor. So for that night, But interestingly enough, they were the only Gaijin to walk away with the victory the entire night event.
Yeah.
Which upsets me later on night 2.
To And actually, on the night 2 thing, I was right there with you because I was stunned as hell when that happened. I couldn't believe it.
I heard it was a hell of a match, though. I haven't had a chance to see it. I've seen some clips, and we were talking about Jeff Cobb, obviously, and
And Shingo Takagi, yeah.
There you go. Sorry,
never open weight.
And but I did see he pulled off the Scott Steiner basically backflip fall away slam.
Yeah.
Where you basically just power slam them with the backflip, pretty impressive.
That match was one of the reasons I love the Never Openweight Championship. I even put on all my social media. It's time for matches with one of my favorite belts in all of pro wrestling, and see that's the thing when people say they don't like the belt. I'm like, I don't understand why, because whenever it's put in a big match situation like that, it's always delivered to me. I can't think of times when I was disappointed in a Never Openweight Championship match. But that's just my opinion. So,
Okada and Ospreay, for being a match that really had nothing on the line, it was damn near stole the show night 1. Felt like a marathon. I mean, I was a bit surprised by the results, obviously with Okada winning, but I guess when you're the mascot of the company, you get to win on the biggest night, So
I think mascot is the wrong way to put that. The face of the company would be better. Mascot makes him sound like he's Hornswoggle or something.
Well, I mean, when I say mascot, like Samurai Shodown video game, who's always on the cover, home model, he's the mascot of the game. That's what I say. Maybe he's the face of the game, but I guess face of the company as well. So I guess you get to.
I was surprised that Okada won too. Except, here's the thing. I remember a couple years ago when Jay White did beat Okada at Wrestle Kingdom, and that shocked the entire world. I thought he was going to repeat, but they brought up 2 points that made me think about this more. One, when Jay White first came back in the Switchblade, he challenged Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom and lost. Did not stop his star rise in the least bit. Matter of fact, it might have helped it. Number 2, this will be like the third guy who's betrayed Okada within the past couple years, with Jay White, then Gato, now this. So I think it was kind of like, not only was Okada refusing to lose to Ospreay, he was like, dude, I'm sick of people betraying chaos. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this crap. I'm not having this anymore. And so he did that. Probably backstage and grabbed Goto and said, if you even think about betraying us, I swear to God, I'm going to break your neck. Now go away.
Tommy, what was your favorite match of night 1 and night 2?
Night 1, oh man, I might have to give it to Ibushi and Naito, only because of the emotion that went into it, to finally see Ibushi get that big win, and Naito's reaction after the match. I liked the respect he showed him by giving him both belts and raising his hand. I thought it was really cool. But a very, very close second, which might have to tie with it, is Ospreay and Okada, because that match was just so good. And the fact that table did not break at all,
it was nasty,
except for becoming indented with Okada's spine, which a friend of mine watched it the next day, and he texted me. He said, "Japanese tables don't break." I was like, "Yeah, no, they really don't."
I hope one day maybe NXT will do a tables match, with the stipulation is they have to be Japanese tables. And you can imagine that going on in NXT. I mean, WWE may not do that, but NXT might. So
you know what's funny about that? Finn Balor will look at Hunter and be like this: "Do you hate us? Do you hate us? I don't know why you hate us. I thought we were cool, Hunter. Why are you making us? I left New Japan specifically because the tables wouldn't break. That's actually my entire. I had no problem with everybody else. The tables pissed me off." But for night 2, you know what? I honestly got to give it to Shingo and Jeff Cobb. As much as I love the main event, and I really legitimately did love the main event, Shingo and Jeff Cobb was the dark horse match for me. It was like, I knew it was going to be good, but if both those guys didn't come out looking like $1 million. Like, if you put them in the world title picture tomorrow, I don't think anyone would bat an eye, because that match was just that good. And we said before, Jeff Cobb needs that platform for everyone to see how good he is, and if that wasn't it, I just don't know what is. It was just such a great match.
Is Cobb's not in a faction right now, right?
Oh no, he's in the Empire, which was also funny because it was a bad night for the Empire because they didn't win.
Yeah, I don't understand that too. I mean, that new faction you're trying to get off the ground, and it almost fell flat, really, when you think about it. So I mean,
I think in a lot of ways they're kind of maybe doing the kind of what they did with the Bullet Club at first, because when that first was just the four of them with Devitt, Carl Anderson, Fale, and Tonga, they didn't win that much outside of cheating. They didn't win that much outside of cheating, because even when Finn Balor had a world title shot against Okada, all of them were out there and they still couldn't get the job done. So it could be one of those things where they're gonna give them their shot, just not yet. Plus, it's Wrestle Kingdom. We just got out of 2020. Dear God, let's end this happy.
Yeah.
But with the talent they have, Ospreay and Cobb especially, they're too good to keep down. And honestly, I just think this might mean they'll add another member pretty soon. They'll bring the war back to the Chaos and the regular army and LIJ.
Cesaro.
Okay, you know what?
That would be great. Yeah.
But since you said that, let's just go ahead and call a spade a spade. If Cesaro showed up tomorrow at New Year's Dash, fantasy booking here, and joined the Empire, I was like, okay, so he's beating Kota Ibushi. So he's going to be the next world champion. So yeah. It's like, okay, that's the world champion. And let's just go ahead and just admit this. Let's stop playing around like this is not going to happen. It wouldn't be different than when AJ Styles came in and beat Okada right away when he became the Bullet Club. So
obviously it's not likely to happen given the contract situation, the 90 days, and all that. It would be a dream though for Claudio to show up at New Japan.
It's a good point. That's big Claudio.
The funny thing is the 90 days thing. You could say that, but Gato would book it out right. He would wait 90 days specifically. It's like on the 91st day he will debut at this event. Yeah.
Plus, Japan's usually a day ahead of us anyway, so they'll just run with that. So ahead of time.
Technicality.
You mentioned someone possibly joining Empire. What if it's Jon Moxley? I know we got the promo, him still holding the United States Championship. AEW has advertised Moxley to be on Dynamite this Wednesday, and it seems like they say he's going to be there in person. So unless he surprises us tonight at New Year's Dash overnight for us, I don't know. Maybe the thought that he might be there in Japan after all. I'm not sure. I'm kind of 50-50 if he's going to be there.
I'm 50-50 as well. If he does show up in New Year's Dash, it's going to shock me. But it looks like they may save the match for one of their. You know what? I take that back. You know what they might do is if he doesn't show up in New Year's Dash, they might be saving it for whenever they get this TV deal done. Because they did announce that they have a US and UK TV deal that'll happen this year.
Okay, nice.
So that was one of their big announcements during the. That was another thing cool. Another thing too I liked about the show was the brief intermission to kind of sanitize the ring down. And considering, I think it happened after the Takagi Cobb match on night 2, that made a lot of sense. Considering the amount of sweat and blood those two left in the ring, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense to do it after that match.
Yeah, they did showcase that, and even in the commercials, they showcased when people come into the arena how they have to get sanitized and checked and everything like that. It was real quick in the promos. So, for the record, this is to do with the wrestling part of it, but that theme song is absolutely stuck in my head, and it will not leave from it. Because first of all, the video of the guy dressed like Don King was probably the greatest thing I've ever seen. He was the ring announcer too.
Yes, but the fact that the song was so freaking catchy was I was watching the show like whoa, damn it, it's in my ears.
Final thing I do want to talk about is Kota Ibushi and Jay White. 48 minutes, 5 seconds on the match time. By far the longest match of the weekend. Now, Jay White, I feel for the guy. He's always in these main event spots. It just never gets the W. And I don't know, it's starting to get to me a little bit, but I get it. So... obviously Bullet Club, but what's going on with that? I picked Ibushi to win. That obviously came true. They wanted to send the fans home happy. But just like Jay White, it's like, I got to keep putting people over in the main event. Like, what is going on here, So, yeah.
And what I'll say to that is, Jay White needs to suck it up. Goto's been there 10 years, and that's literally been his entire booking from day one. Goto, here, win the G1 and the New Japan Cup. Okay, now put this guy over. Crap! Can I win the once?
Favorite match for you from night 2, Tommy? I think you said Cobb and Takagi, right?
Cobb and Takagi with Ibushi and White being a close second. And I did read this somewhere that kind of angered me a little bit, but they said they didn't like how long the White and Ibushi match was. I was like, dude, there were 5 other matches besides that one, and they were all short by comparison. Let them go long. Who cares? It's like the whole event took 5 hours.
All right. As for us on our pick results, I went 4-7. Yay, bad start. Mike went 6-5, and Tommy 8-3. Nobody pulled the Tez. There's always some surprises in New Japan. It's very hard to get all the picks right. There's always some surprises there as far as results go.
I did do well night 1. I will say that, but night 2 happened and kind of blew all my picks away.
All right, on to our WrestleCast ratings. 0 to 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to December. I'm just going to start off by saying, from what I've seen of the highlights, I mean, I saw night 1. I've enjoyed it. It definitely wasn't an exhausting watch, So I think it's definitely worth the watch, even if you want. I mean, everything's going the streaming service away. If you're really interested in what New Japan has to offer, 4.75 out of 5. It was definitely a good show. A really good way to start off the new year, and Lord knows we all need some good wrestling to start off the new year, especially with what we got back home on Monday. But we'll talk about that later. So 4.75 for me. Mike, I know you're not comfortable rating because you haven't seen the show yet. But considering the results and what you've heard, is there any particular match you're looking forward to watching when you get a chance to see it? So
Cobb and
Takagi, but like
yes. No, I mean it's. I mean I read the results and I saw clips throughout the last couple of days. It looked like an amazing show. I mean New Japan and Wrestle Kingdom always delivers. So I mean I also kind of want to see both main events with Ibushi because it's also like he finally got his moment out of the 2 nights. And then it's always cool to see the Guerrillas of Destiny win. I feel like there's a lot of not real New Japan fans, but wrestling fans online that like crap on God a lot for some reason, and I don't really understand why. They always seem to be there, winning titles and carrying things. So I don't know. I don't know if it's because Tama Tonga kind of looks like Roman and Seth, or at
Just
least
with
when he
my
has his
skills.
facial hair. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah.
I think the God hate is partially because when Tongaloa first got in, he wasn't the best performer at first. He definitely got there, but it was like he was still had the era of where he had been before on him, and quite frankly, the hate for Tama Tonga I don't get because he's been one of the most consistent guys in New Japan. Period. Like pretty much is like with him is like have a job, he'll do it. It doesn't matter. He'll get the fans on their feet. One way or the other. So.
I think a year or two ago, am I remembering correctly? Did he actually get into a little Twitter fund with Roman or something?
Oh yeah.
They did something like that.
A few years ago, it was mostly Tama Tonga, but yeah, I mean, he definitely and even made fun of Roman's mannerisms on his way to the ring when he was in Junior Japan, one of his matches too. So
that's because Tama Tonga is such a freaking instigator, dude. That's why I kind of want him to be world champion. He's such an instigator. He's such a talker, and him being world champion, especially. Can you imagine the internet if he wins the IWGP Heavyweight Championship? Oh my God, I want it to happen just to see people lose their absolute minds over that. I really do.
This is a total aside, but now that we're talking about the Guerrillas of Destiny, I kind of want to see, Meng, Haku, whatever you want to call him, show up in WWE just one night and have R-Truth with the belt right in front of him, and R-Truth just be like, you know what? I'm just going to hand it to you. Like, not even want to get into it because it's, it's.
But see, if that happens, they'll have to retire the belt because who's going to be brave enough to try to pin that guy? Because
that could actually be the fun of the rest of it. Is the rest of the night people like sneaking out? No, I can't do it.
Yeah.
My hope is one day for that 24/7, somebody from another company pins it and it shows up on another company's TV just for
if WWE would ever just be cool enough to do something like that and let people have fun.
The funny part is, I know R-Truth wouldn't care.
Oh, I know
best part.
the
I
wrestlers.
Oh, I know. He's got friends everywhere. So
yeah, it's the wrestlers. I have no doubt. It's Vince and the whole company.
Tommy, what's your rating for the show?
I'm gonna give it a 5. I mean, that's
you don't
I'm
sound
shocked
too
at this point.
disappointed. You don't sound too disappointed. Giving it
No, because I consider giving it higher, like breaking my own rating count. But now I'm gonna give it a 5. It's
down, Dave Meltzer.
not only yes. It was not only a great way to start off the year, but start off the new whatever they're going to do next with the belts. Because aside from when the backstage interviews happened, I did hear 2 things. One, Jay White, like you said, he's now complaining that he's done everything and he can't win the big one. Of course, then again, I will say about that match, the fact that the crowd was silent, you could hear Gato and Jay White yelling at each other. That might have been the funniest thing of all time, because I would absolutely watch a comedy show with those two in it. I really would. I'm not even remotely kidding. And so Jay White's saying like he'll show up at New Year's Dash and then that's it. But I don't know if he's lying or if he's just saying that for sympathy, which he's not going to get. And Ibushi actually did announce he wants to merge both belts. Now, wanting to do that and getting to do that are 2 different things, because he's not the first person who's ever said that. So we'll see. As of now, Sonata has stepped up to challenge him for the belt. Sonata's thrown his hat in the ring as the next number 1 contender. And only fair, since they're absolute barn burner of a match at G1 Climax. So yeah, I mean, New Year's Dash. Like I said, I might not stay up for it, but I'm definitely having my eyes on it to see what they're gonna do next. But yeah, absolutely a 5 for me. Yeah.
Okay. Overall, 4.875. Good way to start off 2021. I think we all needed that. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. Regarding merging the belts, I don't know if that's such a good idea for them to book that. I know it's their own kind of mid-card thing, and with them trying to launch New Japan of America, which got stalled last year because of pandemic. Obviously, they have a TV deal working out that they want to get to that.
Yeah.
I feel like you would need the United States Championship coming over as like the top title for New Japan of America, and you need the Intercontinental to stay in Japan as like the mid-card title. You know what I mean? So yeah. I don't know if it's such a good idea to merge the belts, but
the only way I could see that working is if they really officially have the never openweight belt be elevated to a much higher status, which I'm not saying that it hasn't already, because there have been several times where it's been main event of some shows, but because with guys like Shibata and Ishii really making it a huge big deal, and now Shingo, of course, but if they put more emphasis on that belt as well, then merging the heavyweight and Intercontinental belts, I would see better. But then again, it could not happen, because even if they do merge them, I keep in my head, I keep seeing the Triple Crown belt and AJ in All Japan. They still carry on both belts just because they just got a single belt for those 2 years ago, and until then everyone still carrying on all 3 belts. And to the point where I was saying, okay, are this 3 belts or what are we doing? It's really just 1 belt's on the line, guys. Can we just carry 1? Or are we okay?
It's just for a show. I mean, Jericho carried 2 belts around until he lost it.
That's good.
So.
That's a good point. All right. That's a good point. Yeah.
All right, Mike, your thoughts on the merging of the belts, if that's even a remote possibility?
I guess it just depends on what they want to do with that. I mean, it's something that could, really kind of push storylines going forward for a little bit. Ibushi's kind of, the big star finally got his win. But I kind of hesitate to do it too myself, because I find it interesting when they eventually, you lose one of them, kind of like what Becky did after she got the 2 belts. She eventually lost one of them, and kind of stayed. And that was kind of more to stay on brand, I know, but I think it opens up those possibilities of, not always having both titles on the line, and maybe you eventually lose one or the other. So I in general tend to not 2 belts that are not the same thing. When you have the U.S. and the Intercontinental Championship, that's one thing, or the SmackDown and Raw Tag Team Championships, that's one thing. But not, I don't know, like this, I'm not as sure that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
One way they could get around it, I just thought of, is if Okada gets back in the title picture, which I heard that they might do.
Is he ever not in the title picture?
To his credit, I will give him this. For the past few months, he has actually stayed out of it primarily because he's been dealing with Ospreay. But I will give him his credit. He's actually been letting everyone else have the main event. And think about this. This is the first year, and I don't know how long, that neither Okada or Tanahashi were in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
Or not even wrestling for a title too. But
Tommy, I don't want to insult him, but does he basically just pull a Charlotte Flair and be like, "I'm Okada. I deserve it. I deserve a title shot."
I hate to admit it, but you might have a point.
Yeah. I mean, they even said it on
you might have a...
They even said it on the English commentary during the match with Ospreay. It's like, if he wins this, he's forget trying to just get into the New Japan Cup. He's going to want his title shot. Kevin Kelly was even saying it there. So it's they even know.
And so that's why I say, because like when they originally did the double dash for the belt, Okada didn't care about the Intercontinental title, and he said as much repeatedly. He said it should only be about the heavyweight title. So if he gets a shot, he's gonna want it to just be for the heavyweight title. At least that's how I see it going. Yeah. But we'll see.
Or he'll win them both and vacate the IC or something like that. Who knows?
He might do that. He might do that too. Yeah.
That might be a good story too. If whoever the champion is, vacates it, and then the winner of the New Japan Cup is the new Intercontinental Champion.
First time. Yeah. Because I think when Nakamura won the New Japan Cup, he had his choice of what belt to go after, and he picked the Intercontinental title because Bad Luck Fale had it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got some great things coming out of Japan. We'll see what happens with New Year Dash. Back home on Monday Night Raw Legends. Oh boy!
And before we fully get into that, let me be completely transparent, everyone. I have seen none of this. I was focused on Wrestle Kingdom.
Your life
both
is
nights.
better for it.
I've seen literally nothing of this show. I am aware of some of the things that happened, but I have seen literally nothing overall. I didn't want to watch WWE this week. I didn't care.
You know what? There were memes aplenty that could have told you the whole story, because all these memes were like, Wrestle Kingdom in Japan, new killing it, Kota Ibushi holding up both belts.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the U.S., Goldberg challenges Drew McIntyre for the... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay, let's talk about some funny things from Monday night, because I did watch that, so I can talk more about that, which is sad, but... So, first of all, we've talked about this for weeks now, but there's this stupid tag team they keep trying to put over of Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce. Yeah, with Peyton Royce having, been in an amazing tag team that they had to break her up from. But let's also talk about the fact that Lacey Evans, after she kind of first came in, they really tried to push, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's this former military, whatever, this whole thing.
Yeah.
Then, Monday night, she's flirting with Ric Flair, who's at ringside with Charlotte, and she keeps trying to kiss him. And I was sitting there going, you just spent months talking about how great of a family and the wife she is.
There's a pandemic going on here,
Yeah, so she flirts with Ric Flair, and Charlotte finally gets mad and whatever. And then Rick tries to help her out and winds up tripping Charlotte instead of Peyton. And they pin her or whatever. But later on Twitter, Lacey tweets her something like call me your stepmom or something like that.
Oh my God.
Oh my
God. It's so horrible. You can't help but laugh.
I mean, it's horrible. You can laugh, but part of me is like, I've liked heel Lacey Evans better than I like face Lacey Evans. I've always liked heel Lacey Evans better. So, although the sudden shift, like you said, makes absolutely no sense when you spent months grooming her one way, and then it's just a complete 180 just to,
in all honesty, they've never really been able to. I mean, they I guess in my opinion, with her, the sassy Southern Belle thing. Once they started focusing on her military service and her being it just never, I don't know, it never worked.
Yeah.
I think that's why she hasn't been able to get over as well as people wanted her to, but there was just some funny, dumb stuff last night.
The whole military, they're trying to make her a mom and a wife thing, and now all of a sudden she's flirting. Okay, whatever.
I didn't see all of Raw. The segments I saw, though, there's a couple that rubbed me the wrong way. First of all, I don't think it's a good idea. The ones that I saw, I don't think it's a good idea to have a Hulk Hogan giving Drew McIntyre the rub on a promo backstage. I really don't. It's with everything that's going on, and I know Hogan has apologized backstage to I think Big E was the one he talked to about it, with that whole situation about the racist tirade. I forget. I think he talked to someone about it. He apologized for it. I'm sure he's served his penance. Yes, but you don't need Hogan to put a guy over.
Yeah.
Not in 2021.
No, you really don't. Maybe if it's a recent legend, maybe hell, if it might have been John Cena, God forbid, but somebody who's like from the 80s, it's been a while. I'm sorry.
Did you see that whole backstage segment, by the way?
I think I caught towards the end of it.
Okay, so
I finally saw what you're talking about with Sheamus looking one way going to the ring and looking straight up Hood being backstage, like different outfit, like your creative wrestler.
But on top of that, so Sheamus is back there with McIntyre, and then Hogan's with Jimmy Hart. Yeah. And Hogan also says some nice things to Sheamus right before they finish up or whatever. He says something like Sheamus would be like McIntyre's Jimmy Hart. And so people online were like, so you're telling me Hogan likes the whitest wrestler in the WWE? And I was like, oh, it's so bad because it's true.
Oh, my gosh.
One meme I did see was a picture of the Hurt Business that Big Swole, of all people, tweeted out with them with a giant can of Twisted Tea sitting in the ring. That was funny. That was good.
I was afraid we were going to have to edit some of the tweets he usually has about Cedric on Monday night. So
okay, first of all, they are so in love, and it makes me happy to see.
Yeah,
no, definitely.
If I'm someone who, if I have to tell someone who doesn't believe in love to watch any couple, I was like, me and my wife, sure, but those two, absolutely, because
and Jordan Grayson and Jonathan Gresham too.
Yeah, they're great too. Yeah.
So, what else is there that made me my skin crawl a little bit? Randy Orton, of course, tormenting legends. The memes around, it's Legends Night. Here comes Orton walking around. He's ready to strike or whatever. I don't know if I really like that he punked out Mark Henry the way he did. Now, granted, Mark Henry's walking around on one leg. He's got an injury. I don't know if Mark Henry needs to be there. I'm sure he was paid for the appearance, obviously. But the guy is famous for giving a retirement speech and then just getting so intense and just taking out Cena. I got a lot left for me, Among other things, the world's strongest man, and you're going to punk him out to Randy Orton. I didn't get that.
And Orton was the guy he beat in the first place to become World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. I get the Legend Killer thing. I get the Orton thing right now. Tina, again, is still mad that he had a shirt on through that whole segment as well. But, yeah. So it's, I don't know. It made no sense.
And that also leads us to what we were joking about before we went on the show, where after Orton spends the whole night insulting the different legends, then at the end of the show, and by the way, let's put one good thing on that show. McIntyre and Keith Lee actually had a hell of a match.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that was good.
It was actually a good match, I don't know if it's worthy of being in the Tokyo Dome on the 4th or 5th, but it was a good match, I'm just saying.
Well, Keith Lee and Drew Galloway, maybe one day.
I'm just kidding. I just
but, hey, you know what, though? Hey, Keith Lee and Drew Galloway just might show up there someday. And Gato would book it. Absolutely, he would book it.
But after he gets the win, we talk about who shows up, but Oldberg...
I'm good to call him that from now on. Go for it. Yeah.
And the reason I might want to call him that because he might be a little confused.
Mm-hmm.
Because he came out and called out McIntyre for being disrespectful to the legends, saying that he thinks he's better than all of them. And I was like, and again, I got these jokes from online, but people were like, "Were you talking to Randy Orton? Did you get him mixed up?" Like Orton spent the whole night insulting legends, and then Goldberg's like, "McIntyre, you don't respect these legends," and people are like, "What?" Like, I don't know.
Is he talking to Warner or is he talking to Matt Riddle? You know, Riddle's hat shirt stuff, and
Well,
goddamn, I want to see Riddle and Goldberg, and so that's really what I want to see one day.
Yeah, that would be good too.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So it was a strange night. There were a couple of bright spots, but not many.
The Goldberg thing is the Oldberg thing. I guess is just annoying, because again, people lost their jobs because you invested so much money in this guy for him to wrestle one match a year.
Yeah.
And you can't even have matches. Like the Lesnar thing was fine, that whole story, because they're two part-timers and they didn't really they didn't take away from each other much or hurt people that really needed it. But the way Owens had to job out to him a couple years ago when he first came back, and then the Fiend last year when the Fiend was on fire, just stupid, man. Like, just ridiculous.
I'm really hoping if this is gonna be a WWE Championship, which they've already booked, Goldberg versus McIntyre. Please, dear God, let McIntyre win, because I'll be so upset if Goldberg takes the win on this one, because you just destroying all these crazy challenges that McIntyre's had throughout the year, and you're gonna bring in a guy back to do it.
The sad part is there's a precedent for this, and it's Kofi Kingston's title run. When he lost to Brock Lesnar. And that's the messed up part is you get these guys who finally get the big one. They get on this hot tear of going through legitimately good, talented guys and good matches to a part timer, and it's just like I don't understand this. And again, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
I was saying, and this is also why I don't mind that Jay White and Kota Ibushi went 48 minutes the other night, because at least that was good storytelling the whole match.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just thinking, who must be pretty kind of upset about this whole Goldberg run? Sting. Mm-hmm. As two former WCW, big things, when they brought Sting in finally after all these years, couldn't let him go over Triple H. Had to do all that stuff for WrestleMania to make
Had to bring in the NWO and DX. The NWO never even did a damn thing with Sting. Sting was in the Wolfpack, if anything. It made no sense if you knew the history. That was the confusing part.
But then you bring in Goldberg again, and you put him over everybody. Like, that's got to suck for Sting.
Well, that's Sting's in AEW now, and who cares?
Yeah.
So, I mean, when Goldberg and Lesnar did their thing at that WrestleMania, in a way, it was redemption for the horrible match they'd had years ago. The match, that was the match they should have had, but the crowd was shitting on that idea when it happened, and they tore the house down. The two of them. Yeah. Goldberg should have just left it at that. You're good. But money talks, I guess. And I don't mind legends coming back. I just want to clarify that. I don't mind them coming back, making appearances here and there to put to work a match, but they don't have to be in the title picture. Like, what the hell did they do to earn this spot? They just showed up and said, "I want the spot." Like, you haven't busted your ass this whole time, stayed in the Thunderdome, tried to stay COVID-free, worked out over the last year. Like, give the title shot to somebody that has been there and has earned it. Or hell, even does McIntyre need to wrestle on Royal Rumble night? I mean, they're basically all going for his title. That's the whole point of the show, right? So it just makes no sense to me. I'm hopeful he loses, but then I know there's always rumors of Goldberg and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and I'm like, I don't know about that. That's a match that's just going to get shit on, So
I basically care about that even less. That's the
All I want to see is Tribal Chief Roman Reigns beat the ever-loving shit out of Goldberg.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I want if that match happens.
I don't want to see for the title, but I could see Roman versus Goldberg now, only because Roman is Tribal Chief, head of the table Roman now.
I want a street fight. I want Uso involved. I want the other Uso to come back.
Japanese tables.
I want Japanese tables. I want Rikishi to make to show up. Anybody who's related to Roman, just show up and add their 2 cents into beating down Oldberg.
Tonga, Tongaloa.
Do either of the Usos have? They don't have kids yet, right?
They have kids, but they're young.
So because they can go beat down Goldberg's kid, the one who took off his shirt a couple years ago. It was all weird.
It's true. That could be a fun moment.
Maybe
get Brodie Lee Jr.
I was just gonna say, maybe they can get Brodie Lee Jr. to make a cameo.
To be fair, he does a pretty decent discus lariat, and I would totally sell it if he hit me with it.
Ask Adam Cole about that. Yeah.
Props to that.
I mean, like I said, to be fair, that kid's discus lariat is pretty decent. So actually, you know what? Yeah, put him in.
All right. With that, we'll move into our 1 minute warning segment here.
Oh, real quick, before we do that, JC, I was wondering how happy you were. The Toru Yano won 2 nights in a row.
That's the sequel to my 1 minute warning. So let me go ahead I will go ahead and just start mine. I'll actually go first this time so I can talk about that. So,
okay.
Yeah. Here we go. I'll do mine first this time. There's a drop. Here we go. 1 minute. Yes, the sequel to the 1 minute warning I had last week. The fact that Toru Yano was the king of pro wrestling for 2020, and I said, you know what? Let's see him do it again in 2021. Your wish is granted. The best part of it is, of course, he was one of the final 4 on the New Japan Rambo the first night, and on the second night, if you've ever seen those Mario Party memes that says Luigi wins by doing absolutely nothing, that was Toru Yano on night 2. On night 1 too, but especially on night 2, it was so smartly booked. The fact that one guy was already knocked out from finish, you had Fale and I think it was Chase Owens sitting there fighting with each other, arguing over who's going to get the pin. They decide to grab the ref, and Toru Yano takes the moment to low blow both of them. The ref doesn't see it, get the pin, and walk out. Please, dear God, let him keep this the whole year to troll every New Japan wrestling fan out there. Toru Yano for 2 years in a row, king of pro wrestling, and put him on the PWI 500. Put him on the PWI 500 as number 1. Why the hell not? So.
Oh God! The internet would explode, and I have a friend who would actually die. Just like he'd just be like, "No, not number 1, no."
Oh my God, I laughed. That was my first watching. It was like, man, Toru Yano wins by doing absolutely nothing. It was great.
When I was watching the Rambo, and they were down to like the last ones, and like whoever who got eliminated last for Toru Yano even got in the ring, and Chase Owens was trying to motion to the ring, but the referee said the match is over, and he was like, "What? What are you talking about? He's the last entrant. The match is over." I was like, did Toru Yano just win this match and he didn't do a damn thing? That's hilarious.
That's the beauty of it.
I know I must have woken up someone in this house laughing so hard because I was just done. I was like, you know what? Wrestle Kingdom's over. This is already a 5-star night for me. We'll just tell JC tomorrow. So, did you watch the rest of the show? No, the Rambo happened. I didn't see the point. You can't top that moment.
I mean, to be fair, the only thing I've seen in its entirety from night 2 is the 4-way, because then I haven't been able to watch much else on night 2 yet. But I don't know if I want to watch the rest.
Hilarious.
I know. I don't know if I want to watch anything else from night 2. Takagi and Jeff Cobb? Yeah, Toru Yano won. Ibushi and Jay White? Yeah, Toru Yano won in 7 minutes. Who wants to watch 48 minutes? Toru Yano just did the job. So, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, my God.
Mike, do you have anything this week?
Yeah, I do.
All right. You're ready, set, and go.
Okay. Even though this is basically what we were just talking about for 15 minutes, I just want to say this more clearly. WWE, I do not care about Hulk Hogan anymore. Okay? And let me tell you, I grew up in the 80s, and I was the quintessential Hulkamaniac kid. Okay? That's what I grew up. That's how I got into wrestling, and I loved his stuff, and I lived and died by whatever monster he was beating at the pay-per-view, and if he could overcome. But it's 2021. It's like 35, 40 years later, pretty much. I don't care about the guy anymore. He's been exposed on TV and on his shows for the kind of person he is, and it's just like it doesn't matter anymore. Just let him go. He's a relic of the past. He was a huge star, but his time has passed, man. If you're gonna bring back Legends Nights, bring back at least Austin. Well, I guess they didn't bring out DX for like the first time, but Hogan just retired, man. We don't need it anymore.
Well said. I will say though, I did read an interview where probably the nicest thing he said, if he was to say two people he watches currently on TV that have it, that he think are the next big stars, he said Kevin Owens and he said Matt Riddle. I know it doesn't mean much because it's coming from Hogan, but he said it in a shoot interview.
I was just gonna say he's so carny. I feel like he read some internet things and was just trying to get cool points. He's like, who are the coolest people on the internet that they like?
Yeah.
I honestly don't believe anything he says anymore, out loud, in person, on social media. Like the guy's been in this life for so long. I don't think he knows any other way. So
yeah,
he probably doesn't. He probably it's probably all he knows now. Yeah.
I mean, I think we all cheered for Hogan. We were kids, and then I discovered Roddy Piper. So hi Rod. I mean,
yeah. It's funny how the older you get, how you appreciate the heels more. Like when you're younger, it's like because honestly, it's like yeah, yay the good guy stuff. Now you're like, man, that Roddy Piper dude put some work in, dude. Holy crap, that guy was amazing.
Yeah, him, DiBiase, Regal.
Yeah.
Tommy, I know you got to talk a whole lot of New Japan today. Do you have anything you want to add to the 1 minute warning, or are you good to go for now?
Sorry, my stuff froze for a second, but yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I got one. Yeah,
you do? Okay. All right, ready, set, and go.
Okay, so mine is a shout out to Stardom, who for the second year in a row got to perform in the Tokyo Dome. Still wasn't alive for the New Japan World yet. I think it's going to be on Stardom World. I have to double check that. But Queen's Quest and Donna Del Mondo, along with Miyu Watani and Tam Nakano, were all involved in this. Just huge for them. I love Stardom. I love the work they're putting in, especially with people like Julia and Utami leading the charge, especially ever since Hana Kimura's passing. May she forever rest in peace. But they're soldiering on, and they're still doing a lot of good work. So, Wrestle Kingdom, man, bringing everyone together and giving Stardom a bigger platform, which is just good for all of pro wrestling. So yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm hopeful that one day we'll get a Stardom match on the main card of Wrestle Kingdom, maybe next year. I know it's not a promotion that New Japan books women usually, although apparently Marie Kanellis tweeted that she wants to be back at Wrestle Kingdom and bring the OG Kingdom with her.
Kingdom.
Yeah. So
well, it's not like they don't have precedent being there. They are former IWGP heavyweight champions. So I mean, if there's a comeback, and besides, if there's a comeback story, I want just so people will leave him the freak alone. It's seeing Mike Bennett be in the Tokyo Dome in any way, shape, or form, only because people are so disrespectful to him, and I don't get why. It's not like he's done anything wrong to anyone. He had substance abuse problems.
I was gonna say he did it to himself and his family. Really, it's not to anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, and even then, he's come back from that. Was like so long ago now, and now he's just trying to keep himself right up. So who cares?
It's because he's married to Maria Kanellis and he got her pregnant. That's what people are just jealous about. That's when you get down to it. Yeah. So
pretty much. Yeah. Let's do that.
Is what it is. Before we close the show with all this we've talked about, Mike, you shared us a tweet that a message you saw from Amanda Huber, Brodie Lee's widow, and I thought it was really worth saying, worth reading here, word for word, especially with what has gone on. This is what it says, and I quote: "So many people expect myself and my family to hate on WWE. The fact is, we don't. We never have. My husband absolutely got frustrated because he wanted more than they had envisioned for him. And that didn't mean he hated them. The frustration didn't change the real and genuine love that our family has for pro wrestling. WWE gave my husband a platform. It enabled him to live his dream, a dream he almost gave up on. He was able to travel the world in his dream job. He got to entertain millions of people. He got to build a beautiful life for our family. He held singles gold there. He won a belt at WrestleMania. He ticked so many dream life boxes there. He just happened to want a little more out of his career. That's why he left. Not out of hate. Not because they're an evil company. He left because his vision didn't match theirs. The most incredible thing he took away from his time at WWE was the people. The people he carried with him until his very last days. It wasn't one company versus another. Little Brodie loves wrestling. We still watch wrestling every week. We would tune in to see Uncle Boom Boom, Cesaro, and family best friend Big E. People that transcended the lines of friendship into family. People in the WWE watch my kids grow up. They love my husband so much. They welcome my family into their arms. They became my family too. The flood of love we receive from WWE is real and it's beautiful. In my husband's final moments, the people that surrounded my family were wrestlers. Companies didn't matter. Please, I beg you, stop trying to create a divide in wrestling. Support pro wrestling. Love pro wrestling. Live your life like Brodie in a way that people speak like this. So, I applaud that message. I hope people... Brodie Lee's passing has shocked the wrestling world. People are still talking about it. His son is roasting people on AEW Dark for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But we always wondered, was there some real hard feelings there, especially the way the Exalted One is booked to be almost a parody of Vince McMahon, you know, on some levels. So the whole not liking sneezing and stuff like that. So for that message, that's really a nice message of unity that I think we all need right now in more ways than one, but especially in wrestling. Everyone's so quick to hate because you like one company or another. Hey, that's your personal preference. For us, as long as you enjoy pro wrestling and just talk an honest opinion about it and don't get too stupid with don't be bringing hate speech into it, we're all good. I think we've always just enjoyed wrestling in its forms. And we'll give any company a chance, you know, to make something good. I mean, there's been many a time we've going on pay-per-view not looking forward to it and it surprised us. There's been many a time we've gone to pay-per-view thinking forward to it and it's disappointed us. So
TLC is a prime example of something I was like not expecting to like at all, and then it was actually probably one of the better pay-per-views that year. So
yeah. So
I definitely agree with her. I honestly, to me, it's like I think it's more of like when you just get tired of primarily like some of the booking decisions, and you take it out on the wrong people. Like me, that's why I said I'm gonna stop saying I hate Brock Lesnar because it's not true. I don't hate Brock Lesnar. I don't like his booking. You know, that's good. Say again. Yeah. But it's just like she's right, and see that's the thing with Brodie's passing is like people. It's not like people want to blame WWE for it or something like that. It's like it's just not. It's not true. You know. It just sucks. I think some people probably did it just come from a place of pain. They want to blame something, which I kind of get. And other people are just being jerks because it's the internet. So,
Mike, thanks for finding that and sharing that with us on our group chat.
It just happened. Kind of glad I came upon it. Just I started following pretty much most of the Dark Order people, and they're really hilarious. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're so.
Yeah, and
good.
by the way, Brodie Jr. is basically as tall as Marco Stunt, and that just cracks me
I
up.
saw a picture of that. And I laughed. I was like, "He's 8. He's 8. What is going on here? He's 8."
Hasn't even hit puberty yet, and he's going to be taller than Marco Stunt for crying out loud. That's hilarious. As for us, our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to our account on CDG's YouTube channel. If you haven't seen New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 15, we highly recommend you watch it. Go give it a watch if you can. It's definitely worth it, and you can tweet at us or comment here and let us know your thoughts on the show. What rating you gave it from 0 to 5? Next week, we're going to be talking about Impact Hard to Kill. Their first pay-per-view of the year, taking place in Nashville, and a very, very huge main event match announced already that's going to feature, in some ways, AEW versus Impact. So, bringing back a Bullet Club team together for this show. It's going to be very interesting. So, yeah. We've always been saying we want two companies working together. Now we're going to get to see it a little bit and see how this works out. So, definitely join us next week for that, talking all about it, making predictions, and see where we go from there. And in the coming weeks, we'll talk Royal Rumble as WrestleMania season gears up, and it's going to be fun. We look forward to hopefully also live streaming our reaction to the Royal Rumble matches as well, because those are always fun, and we'll see how they handle it in a Thunderdome setting. So,
think they're gonna? Oh, you don't think they're gonna do the Rumble from the corporate offices? You have to throw each other off the top of the roof.
I so thought about that, and I was like, "Oh God, that's too crazy." But then again, I remember Vince as a person. It's like it's actually not too crazy. That sounds like something we could absolutely
Somehow Dana Brooke grabs the wrong briefcase again.
Oh my god, that'd be funny. That'd be so funny. Oh my
I
gosh.
still would have kept that thing. It had actual
And money, right?
Had real money, I'm keeping it. Hell yeah.
I actually would have just left after that. It's like, oh, this is my briefcase? Oh darn. Okay.
I'd have been like,
Well,
I'm good. I don't need the actual briefcase. I got this one. So
I guess I lost the match then. Oh well.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys later.
They turn her into like a modern $1 Million Man, but like a female version.
That would be sick, actually. That would be amazing. They
now
should've
that you
done-
said that, I want to see it. Everybody's got a price. It would be
Damn
lovely
it,
to see that.
Mike,
Yeah.
why are you a better booker than Vince?
Venmo me the money. It's gotta be money.
Oh wow, now I really want to see that.
Yeah.
Now I really want to see that.
Thanks everybody for watching and for commenting along with us. Over here we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake. Yeah.
Hey yo, subscribe to the channel by clicking right here.
Or if you want to watch more videos, click right here.